A boy may be standing beside the very man he shot, and the most dangerous thing in that hospital room is not a weapon. It is his mouth. I think that is the real bomb at the center of this General Hospital storyline for Tuesday, April 28th. Not Sidwell's threats, not Valentine's revenge, not even Carly possibly sneaking into Cullum's room with poison. The hottest danger, in my opinion, is Rocco's guilt. Because the storyline shows that Rocco is not just near Cullum by accident. He is too close. He keeps appearing around Cullum's hospital room, and every time he gets closer, the narrative makes one thing feel more likely. Rocco may say too much. This is just my interpretation, and I could be wrong, but I feel the episode is using Rocco as a pressure point. He is not being portrayed as a cold, controlled person who can bury what happened and move forward. The character is portrayed as emotionally overwhelmed, trapped between fear, guilt, and the desperate need to confess. If Rocco really shot Cullum, then being near Cullum is not just risky, it is almost unbearable. This situation reflects a classic soap structure, where the secret is not protected by silence alone. It is threatened by emotion. The episode highlights the uncomfortable irony of the setup. Cullum is the victim Rocco once shot, yet he may also become the first person Rocco tells the truth to. That would be a brutal twist, not because it is loud, but because it is intimate. Rocco does not need a police interrogation to break. He may break because the person in the bed is the living reminder of what he did. In my opinion, that is much more interesting than a simple exposure scene. The storyline appears to be setting up a confession born from panic, not strategy. Rocco's possible slip matters because it could destroy several people at once. The narrative focuses on more than one secret here. It is not only about who shot Cullum. It is also about who has been protecting Rocco, who has been lying, and who may be forced to make uglier choices to keep him safe. If Rocco confesses directly to Cullum, the truth does not stay private. Even if Cullum is weak, even if he cannot act immediately, that one moment could shift the balance of power. That is why Britt's possible arrival, along with Lulu and fake Nathan, feels so urgent. They are not just walking into a hospital room. They may be walking into the exact second before everything collapses. The storyline shows that Rocco's protectors understand the danger better than he does. Britt, Lulu, and fake Nathan appear positioned as the emergency wall between Rocco and his own guilt. They may try to stop him from doing something reckless, but the real question is whether they are stopping him too late. I feel this is where the writing becomes especially tense. A secret is easiest to protect when everyone involved agrees to protect it, but Rocco does not seem emotionally built for that kind of silence right now. This suggests that the cover-up is weaker than the people around him want to admit. Britt may be sharp, Lulu may be protective, fake Nathan may be quick enough to improvise. But none of that fully controls Rocco's emotional state. And fake Nathan, in particular, becomes one of the most interesting pieces on the board. The episode highlights that Sidwell notices his strange behavior. That is important because Sidwell is not being portrayed as a passive observer. He may have been distracted before, especially with Jason being arrested under suspicion of shooting Cullum and with his own focus on Marco's attacker. But now, the narrative suggests Sidwell is starting to rethink the pattern of events. He may not know the truth yet, but he can sense that fake Nathan is hiding something. In my opinion, fake Nathan's biggest problem is that he has too many lies in motion. He may be trying to protect Rocco's secret, but Sidwell's suspicion forces him to create another story. Instead of admitting that he is covering for Rocco, fake Nathan may redirect attention toward Lucas. The storyline shows that fake Nathan could claim he is investigating Lucas, possibly suggesting that Lucas is connected to Marco's death. That move is clever but also dangerous. This development suggests that fake Nathan is trying to survive the moment, not solve the larger problem. He needs Sidwell to stop looking at him, so he gives Sidwell something else to look at. Lucas becomes the diversion. And in soap storytelling, a diversion can become its own disaster. I think this lie could work in the short term because it speaks to something Sidwell already wants. An answer. Sidwell is looking for someone to blame, someone to follow, someone who might explain what happened to Marco. If fake Nathan offers Lucas as a possible suspect, Sidwell may not need much proof at first. He only needs enough doubt to justify moving in that direction. This situation reflects how suspicion can become a weapon before truth ever catches up. but I also feel fake Nathan's lie may create a larger trap. If Sidwell starts secretly investigating Lucas, Lucas could be pulled into danger for reasons he does not fully understand. The storyline appears to be setting up a chain reaction. Rocco's secret causes fake Nathan to lie. Fake Nathan's lie causes Sidwell to target Lucas. Sidwell's focus on Lucas may expose new information, or create a new victim. I could be wrong, but that feels like the structure being built. Sidwell's attention shifting toward James adds another level of threat. The narrative focuses on James as someone Sidwell may try to manipulate. That is alarming, because James may not be the kind of person who can easily recognize how dangerous Sidwell is. If Sidwell targets James, the situation becomes more personal and more morally uncomfortable. It is one thing for powerful adults to lie, threaten, and investigate each other. It is another thing when someone like James is used as a tool. In my opinion, Sidwell's move toward James suggests that he is broadening his search. Earlier, Sidwell may not have cared much about who shot Cullum because Jason had already been arrested, and because Marco's attack seemed more urgent to him. But now, the episode appears to show Sidwell connecting separate threads. He may begin to wonder whether the shooting of Cullum, the death of Marco, and the strange behavior around the hospital are not as separate as they first seemed. This development could influence the entire investigation. James may know something indirectly. He may have noticed something. He may have heard a name, seen someone nearby, or understood a small detail without realizing its importance. The storyline shows that children and younger characters in soaps often become accidental witnesses, not because they are searching for truth, but because adults underestimate them. I feel Sidwell may use James not because James is powerful, but because James is vulnerable. That is what makes the potential manipulation so disturbing. Sidwell does not need James to understand the full picture. He only needs James to reveal one clue. One emotional reaction, one sentence, one memory, and if that clue points back toward Rocco, then the secret around Cullum could start falling apart from another direction. That is why I think the Rocco and James threads are connected thematically. Both involve younger characters being placed near adult crimes and adult lies. The episode highlights how the next generation becomes trapped inside the consequences created by older people. Rocco may be carrying guilt, James may be used as bait or as a source of information. Neither position feels safe. Then there is Ethan and Rick, and I think their exchange adds a colder, more suspicious kind of tension. Ethan tries to convince Rick to trust him. The storyline shows that Ethan may frame their situation around a shared enemy, Sidwell. Ethan, Sonny, and Rick may all have reasons to focus on Sidwell rather than tearing each other apart. On paper, that makes sense. In practice, Rick's suspicion may be justified. Rick is portrayed as someone who does not simply accept someone's explanation because it sounds convenient. He questions Ethan, and that matters. This situation reflects a deeper issue in the episode. Nobody can fully trust anyone, because every character seems to be hiding either a motive, a fear, or a private plan. Ethan may be telling the truth about their common goal, or he may be using the idea of a common enemy to lower Rick's guard. In my opinion, Rick's danger comes from saying the quiet part out loud. If Ethan is innocent, Rick's suspicion may create conflict. But if Ethan is secretly more villainous than he appears, then Rick has just made himself a problem. This development suggests that Rick could become vulnerable simply because he is thinking too clearly. In a world full of lies, the person asking the right question often becomes the next person someone wants to silence. I do not want to overstate it. This is just my interpretation. I could be wrong. But the structure around Ethan feels deliberately uncertain. The episode does not seem to present him as fully trustworthy. Instead, it keeps him in a gray area. He may be an ally against Sidwell. He may be protecting his own agenda. He may even be more dangerous than Rick realizes. The storyline appears to be setting up Ethan as a character whose true role could change the meaning of several scenes later. Now, Valentine's part of the episode pushes the story into a much darker place. The narrative focuses on revenge, but not in a clean or heroic way. Valentine wants to act for Anna, yet he cannot simply reach Cullum's hospital room and handle things himself. That limitation matters because it forces him to depend on someone else, and that someone could be Carly. In my opinion, the idea of Carly sneaking into Cullum's room to inject poison into his IV is one of the most dangerous possible developments in this episode. Not only because of what she may do, but because of what it says about how desperate everyone has become. The storyline shows that the hospital, which should be a place of recovery and truth, is turning into a battlefield of secrets, revenge, and attempted control. Carly's possible involvement is risky on every level. She may be discovered. Cullum may wake up. Someone may walk in. A camera, a nurse, or even a small mistake could expose her. And if Cullum is not as helpless as people assume, Carly could be attacked or trapped in the room with him. This situation reflects a common but effective soap tension. The person sent to finish the job may become the one placed in immediate danger. I feel Valentine using Carly or relying on Carly also complicates the moral weight of the story. Valentine may see this as revenge for Anna. He may believe Cullum deserves it. But the narrative does not have to present revenge as simple justice. It can show revenge as something that spreads damage outward. If Carly becomes involved, she carries the legal and emotional risk. Valentine may be driven by pain, but Carly may be the one caught with the needle. This development could influence how viewers understand Valentine. He is not just reacting emotionally. He is possibly choosing a method that pulls another person into the danger zone. In my opinion, that makes the move feel both strategic and reckless. Strategic, because he cannot do it himself. Reckless, because Carly is not invisible, and Cullum's hospital room is already a magnet for too many people. What makes the episode feel tightly constructed is that every storyline seems to orbit Cullum in some way. Rocco may confess to Cullum, Britt, Lulu, and fake Nathan may rush to stop him. Valentine may want Cullum eliminated. Carly may be sent into Cullum's room. Sidwell may begin connecting James and other clues back to the shooting. Cullum is in a hospital bed, but the script uses him like the center of a storm. In my opinion, Cullum's silence may be the most powerful silence in the episode. If he wakes, speaks, remembers, or even reacts, everything changes. If he remains weak, the people around him still reveal themselves through what they do near him. The storyline shows that a character does not need to be fully active to drive the plot. Sometimes a body in a hospital bed can expose more truth than a courtroom scene. Rocco's emotional instability, fake Nathan's cover story, Sidwell's suspicion, Ethan's uncertainty, Rick's questioning, Valentine's revenge, and Carly's possible mission all point to one larger idea. The truth is no longer hidden in one place. It is scattered across several people. That makes it harder to bury. One person can be silenced. One lie can be patched. But when too many people know pieces of the same secret, the secret begins to breathe. I think the episode may be setting up a domino effect. Rocco's near confession could be the first domino. Fake Nathan's lie about Lucas could be the second. Sidwell's manipulation of James could be the third. Carly's possible poisoning attempt could become the explosion that turns suspicion into open war. I could be wrong, but the structure feels less like separate scenes and more like a single trap tightening from different angles. The most compelling part, in my view, is that no one here looks completely safe or completely clean. Rocco may be guilty, but he is also frightened. Fake Nathan may be lying, but he may be doing it to protect someone. Sidwell may be searching for truth, but his methods appear threatening. Ethan may be asking for trust, but he may not deserve it. Rick may be right to be suspicious, but that suspicion could put him at risk. Valentine may want justice for Anna, but his plan may cross a moral line. Carly may be brave, but bravery in this situation could become self-destruction. That is why the episode works as more than a collection of dramatic incidents. The narrative focuses on consequences. Every character is reacting to something that already happened, but their reactions may create something worse. Rocco's guilt could expose him. Fake Nathan's improvisation could endanger Lucas. Sidwell's obsession could pull James into danger. Rick's questions could make Ethan more dangerous. Valentine's revenge could turn Carly into a target. In my opinion, the strongest prediction is not that one single truth comes out immediately. It is that the walls around the truth get thinner. The storyline appears to be setting up pressure from too many directions for the secret to remain stable. Rocco may not confess fully, but he may say enough. Sidwell may not solve everything, but he may find a clue. Carly may not complete the plan, but she may leave evidence. Ethan may not reveal his full hand, but Rick makes sense enough to keep pushing. And that is where the real suspense lives. Not in whether someone has a perfect plan. Nobody does. The suspense is in watching flawed people make desperate choices while standing inches away from exposure. Rocco is too emotional. Fake Nathan is too defensive. Sidwell is too suspicious. Rick is too direct. Valentin is too vengeful. Carly may be too willing to walk into danger. Each weakness creates movement in the story. I feel the episode is quietly asking one question: who breaks first? Will it be Rocco because guilt becomes too heavy? Will it be fake Nathan because Sidwell corners him? Will it be James because he is manipulated into revealing something? Will it be Rick because he pushes Ethan too far? Or will it be Carly because a revenge plan inside a hospital room becomes impossible to control? This is just my interpretation, but I think the Tuesday, April 28th storyline is less about one shocking event and more about several people standing at the edge of a reveal. The episode highlights how secrets do not collapse only when villains make mistakes. They collapse when guilt, grief, fear, and loyalty all collide at the same time. And right now, that collision appears to be happening inside General Hospital itself. A hospital room should be where someone survives, but in this story, Cullum's room may become the place where everyone else's lies start dying first.